We are back, everybody, on Santa Clarita's hometown station, AM-1220 KHTS. It's the Gazette Radio Hour with Doug and John. We have our national correspondent on, ex-Green Beret, author, and all kinds of other stuff, Mr. Robert Patrick Lewis.
All-around good guy. That's the only time of the week I get to hear that.
And I don't think he's an ex-Green Beret. Once a Green Beret, you're always a Green Beret, right?
Sorry.
All right. You can sneak in and
we're a little short of time, Mr. Lewis, this week, so we want to get right to it. 450 additional troops to Iraq to fight ISIS. Is that going to do it?
No.
Gee, really?
The big problem, when you look at the military, there's two most basic kind of decisions. You've got strategic decisions and you got tactical decisions, right? So tactical decisions made by the commanders on the ground, that's why ACT. It's got ACT right there in the name. It's about action right there on the ground. That's what this kind of move is. The tactical move, sending more troops and trying to help. But they still have no strategy. The strategy is the overall campaign strategy, it's the overall plan that ties it all together, and they're not doing anything about that. They still don't have a strategy. Without a strategy, tactical decisions aren't going to go anywhere.
Yeah. Well, there's no end result. There's no beginning result. There's no end game. There's no. Doug and I were talking when we were doing show prep. It seems to me like war's changed and we haven't.
Yeah, and that's one of the biggest things. The Army has an entire division called the Lessons Learned. It's what they do. Their whole job is to learn from mistakes that have been made in the past and teach the future leaders on what they should do to change those, and we're not doing that. The biggest lesson learned there is to adapt. You're supposed to be able to adapt and adapt your strategy and change what you're doing if it's not working. And unfortunately, Obama fires everybody that seems to know what they're doing and has anything to say about his policy not being the best policy. And so you get left with people that don't know what they're doing and they're not creating strategy.
But see, couldn't he come up with a policy that an overall policy and then kind of leave it to the people who know what they're doing to implement that policy?
Yeah, in a perfect world.
Okay. All right. I'm just making sure it should work that way. It does.
Well, that's how special operations works generally. Every team, down to the team level, the tactical guys on the ground, we get a lot more leeway than your conventional troops would get on making tactical decisions on what we see on the ground and what we should do there. And that's the way it's supposed to work. But unfortunately, much of the conventional Army and the people that Obama listens to, they don't really have that idea. They don't have that adaptive mentality. They have more of a black and white, left, right, left mentality, and it doesn't allow them to adjust fire quickly, which is what you need in something like this.
I feel like we're fighting the American Revolution, standing in a field, pointing guns at each other, and they've moved on to guerrilla warfare.
You hear about ROE, the rules of engagement. It really does get to that point. I had friends a couple of years ago that were on Bob Shank, which is where I spent a lot of my time in Afghanistan. I wrote, entire chapters about it in my book, Let Me When I'm Gone. These guys were there after I had left, and they would get mortared all night and weren't even allowed to return fire because that was their rules of engagement. And when you send guys in and you don't adjust that ROE and allow them to defend themselves or go out and take kinetic actions, there's really no point in even having them there.
Yeah.
Hey, Rob, we're going to change subjects here. Did you follow this trade agreement stuff? Because John and I are clueless. Help us.
It's been going on and on and on, and I think there's a lot of people that are doing some rejoicing that at least it hit another stop, but, they keep pushing this so hard, even though everybody's saying they don't want it. They're pushing it so hard that it's going to be another piece of evidence that they really don't care what we think. They're going to go ahead with it.
So it was a Pacific Rim trade agreement, right?
Yeah.
Why are those bad?
Well, it's not. So it's provisions within the agreement that essentially give multinational companies the ability to sue American companies if we're doing things that go against this agreement that American companies don't even know what it is.
Okay.
So it's giving a lot of leeway, and it's there's a lot of things. I saw a YouTube video maybe a year or so by this guy that owned a machine shop here somewhere in rural United States, and he was talking about how he's going out of business because Obama admitted he started these policies where foreign goods are allowed to be shipped in a lot cheaper, and all of their regulations were taken off, so they're a lot more lax, and the same policies on the American workers were increased. So essentially, it's cheap. That's why it's so much cheaper to get stuff from China, because you're increasing taxes on American companies, making them more expensive, decreasing taxes on multinational companies or corporations in China and all across the world to ship stuff in.
I get it.
Hey, Robert, I found it interesting that a lot of Obama's supporters in the Democrats in Congress turned on him on this one. Why is that?
I think it's only because the public found out. It's only because people found out there's been a lot of fervor on social media lately about what exactly it is and all these bad things. There are a lot of movements that started up around this, and a lot of pretty heavy hitters that came out and started talking about what it really is. And I think that's the only reason. It's not because they want to do the right thing. It's because people found out what they were doing.
Right. All right. Hillary update. How many questions has she answered so far?
Oh, jeez, none. I mean, it's a sad state of affairs where everybody just knows, oh, that's just Hillary. She's just a lying, corrupt, evil person. Yet she's still in contention for president of the United States.
Well, yeah, but you look at somebody like, Jeb Bush, and I hate saying that, but talk about an inept campaign.
Yeah, well, and that's, so there's another big thing that came up in the news. The Iowa GOP just canceled the famed Ames straw poll.
Oh, geez.
And I've got, my own little inklings as to why that is. If you look at all the actual polling results, the people that are actually polling the best against Hillary and that are looking to do the best out of the GOP side of the House are the people who the GOP doesn't want to win.
Right.
So they want Jeb Bush to win. The people don't want Jeb Bush to win, so they're doing everything they can to prevent people from realizing nobody likes him.
Just a complete, and you can fill in your military acronym here, of a start to a campaign. Probably one of the worst I've ever seen. They have staff meetings in a hotel room in Houston for no reason. They've got donors who want to write these big, massive checks, but they're not sure where to put them, whether it's the political action committee or his campaign. He can't run a campaign. You can't run the country. Is that too far?
Yeah, well, and it just shows what's going on. There have been a lot of stuff. It's been circulating for a while, but the video that I keep seeing that essentially shows it to be proof that the United States is no longer a democracy, it's an oligarchy.
Yeah. Right?
And that's this is just further proof of that the people, your elected officials really don't care what you think or what you say. They're going to take a lobbyist call. I think something like 9 times out of 10, they'll take the lobbyist call before a constituent's call, unless they're calling you and asking for money, right? But they're not calling you, Bob Smith, on the street for money. They're calling AMCO Corporation and asking them for money, right? So, of course, anytime they speak, they carry a lot more weight, which means our democracy is essentially gone.
Yeah. Hey, Rob, real quick, are you going to have any book signing parties?
We're looking at it. There's a lot of pieces on the chessboard right now, so I'm just trying to get everything situated before we start doing that. But the first ones that we do will be here in Santa Cruz.
All right. It's The Pack by Robert Patrick Lewis, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, he's the guy who's got a lot of chess pieces on his chessboard, and I'm playing checkers.
Thanks for your time, Rob. We appreciate it.
All right. Thank you, guys. Have a great weekend.
All right. Thanks, Robert Patrick Lewis. All right, Doug. We're getting better. Are you spurning any ideas? I know what you're going to write about next week.
Yep.
Okay. All right. You're listening to Gazette Radio Hour with Doug and John on AM-1220. Cannon fodder for the Gazette and Free Classified. We're on AM-1220 KHTS. We'll be right back.
We are back, folks. It's Santa Clarita Gazette Radio Hour with Doug and John. It's the Radio Digest version of the Santa Clarita Gazette and Free Classifieds for all you need to know to be in the know on Santa Clarita's hometown station, AM-1220 KHTS.
All right. So it's time for one of your favorite topics.
What's that?
Happy hours.
Mr. Happy Hour's on?
Mr. Happy Hour's on.
Are you there?
Doug and John, what is going on?
Hey.
It's Mr. Smith. Hey, we're just going to change your name to Mr. Happy Hour. Does that work?
You don't like Mr. Happy Hour?
I love Mr. Happy
So
Hour.
we're going to call you that.
We'll just call you Hap for short. Happy! What's happening?
Mr. HH.
Mr. HH. So it is Mr. Happy Hour from... See, we got to do this
SCVHappyHour.com.
SCVHappyHour.com. I have to tell you, I actually used that the other day.
Great. It was kind of cool. I was at the Olive Terrace Bar and Grill there for a couple pints, and 2 ladies came in and said, we came here out of the blue just because we saw this on a website. And I go, did you happen to see it on SCVHappyHour.com? Yes, we did.
All right.
Standing right there. That was great.
Validation, baby. Validation.
And did you get the digits of the girls? Yeah, how'd that work out?
It's working.
On that. Nice. Okay.
I think he's married.
Mr. Happy Hour is going to be happy for an hour.
But, John, what did you say you used the site for?
I used the same site for the exact same place.
Great.
We were looking for a place to go to happy hour, and we'd gone to Big Wang's already, which is a good place for happy hour. We found that really close. And we were looking for some place. The funny thing is, though, that I went there and I just had a drink, and then we went to dinner. And I was like, man, I bet you we missed a boatload of stuff.
Right.
And that's what your website is all about. You can find out more and pick and choose. We just were like, oh, we're here. What's local?
Yeah.
And it worked out really well.
Yeah. And that's the concept, guys, too. And I just wanted to add one thing. I did add a little, it's another button to my website on the homepage. It's called links. And I'm still working on it. But if you hit links, so basically if you're looking for, say, a weekend happy hour, so I'm going to if you click on the weekends, you'll show all the places that offer weekend specials. And then late night specials, the same thing. And then I'm going to break it down. If you want to go to a Mexican restaurant and you want happy hour, click on that, and it'll show you all the Mexican restaurants that offer happy hours too.
Great idea.
I think that'll be a nice feature also.
You know what I think is next? Mr. Happy, I'm going to throw out an idea. You just tell me whether it's a good one or not, all right? And you can use this. I'll give you permission to use this, but I get to go with us. I get to go. A happy hour tour of Santa Clarita.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
We get a bus or a driver.
We need a bus.
And we charge people $20 for the bus. We split the cost, and you go to each happy hour, and we tell you what's going on for each happy hour, and we could do like a whole happy hour pub crawl thing.
Sounds like a plan.
Great. That's a great idea.
That's a good idea. You start marketing that, and as long as I get to go whenever I want, I'm in, baby.
Now, Mr. Happy Hour, obviously Friday night's the busiest nights for these places. Places tend to do extra special things for Friday nights?
Well, you know what? They're kind of Friday nights. They're kind of phasing it out. I think it's more popular Monday through Thursday because they're trying to build that business through those off days a little bit.
Gotcha.
Obviously, they're doing the late nights because they want to get that attraction for the people, and obviously they're seeing weekends is very valuable to have that too. So and they're all changing. They're all kind of trying to do one up on each other too a little bit too, just to make it to bring in more business. So.
Now, in your goings-on and you're touring these places, do you notice big variations in ages, the crowds that you go to, the different places you go to?
Yeah, I mean, there's the places you go that's going to have the kids, and there's the places that go that are going to have the 40 and overs. So, but a lot of places there seems to be a pretty good mix. But yeah, there are those places where you're going to get a younger crowd or older crowd.
That's something you should include a little bit, your perception of the crowd on your website. So we know, okay, we want to go out for business happy hour.
Yeah.
Then go to one place. We want to go out and as a precursor to an adult beverage consuming evening. Wow, that was a nice way to say it. Yeah, really good. Drunk. Let's go out and have a good time. You should go there. That's a good idea. All right, so quickly, what's this week's happy hour? Where are we going?
This week I wanted to talk about another community, Canyon Country. So I picked out two in Canyon Country I'd like to highlight real quick.
Awesome.
Let me start with Grinder's Sports Bar and Eatery. It's on Soledad Canyon. When you're coming from Saugus, you pass Sierra Highway, and it's on the left-hand side.
Oh, there you go.
Right next to the fire station.
Yeah, right over there. And it's under new ownership. Her name is Jessica. She's remodeled the whole place. She's done a great job with everything. They have a pool table. They have live entertainment. They have 7 big screen TVs. They also have dartboards.
Wow.
It's a full bar. It's kind of cool too. They got a little table with a little foosball table that you can play while you're there too. But she's done a really great job with the remodel. So it's a nice little sports bar. But she has a lot of entertainment going on. She has karaoke every Friday night with Debbie McKay. But just to go over her happy hour specials real quick, it's Monday through Friday, 4 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. Every Tuesday is college night, and it's happy hour all night.
Oof.
And just to run through the specials real quick, pint draft and bottled beer is $3.50. Well drinks are $4. House wine by the glass is $4. They have appetizers, the 10-piece wings for $7.95. And by the way, guys, I'm originally from Buffalo, New York.
So you know the
wings. They use Frank's Red Hot for their wings, and they fry them crispy. So they do an awesome job with their wings. They have little tasty tots, little tater tots for $3.95, fried pickles, mozzarella sticks.
Jeez, it goes on and on.
Sandwiches for $1 off, and they also do a nice pizza, which is 15% off during happy hour.
Hey, Mr. Happy Hour, unfortunately, we're up against the clock. Real quick on the other one.
Yeah.
Got it. And Birdie's is going to be on the next one. I know they advertise with you guys, and that's under new ownership, too. They've done a great job also. Basically, live music. They got karaoke on Saturday nights. They got DJs on Friday nights. They offer the Dodgers are playing on their TVs. They also offer NASCAR on their big screen TVs, too, if you're a motorhead. But basically, real quick, it's Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. to 6 p.m.,
And then Sunday, it's called Sunday Fun Day, which is 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. So basically, it's all day.
All right, Mr. Happy Hour, thanks so much.
You got it.
All right, thanks, Mr. Happy Hour. SCVHappyHour.com. We use it. It's great. All right, you listen to Gazette Radio Hour with Doug and John on AM-1220 KHTS, Santa Clara's hometown station. We'll be right back.